Alright, this is Fluid Mechanics. This is Project 1 and we are doing hybrid for today. If you hear thunder in the background, ignore that because it is thundering right now. First thing we want to do is we're going to change this to the word hybrid. That's what we want to do. And then we're going to go to Geometry, right click and do Design Modeler. Once this loads up, you got to go to Sketching, hit Z so you can have this out. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Rectangle and stretch that sucker out. Then you go to Dimensions, you're going to go to Vertical, you're going to double tap these corners and drag it out. For this project, he is having us do the length be 150 times the height. So the height, first of all, we're going to switch this to millimeters, and then we're going to switch this to 5. And then we're going to go to horizontal here. You're going to double click the ends. You're going to drag it up, and you're going to put that as 750 milliliters. Now, personally, I normally try to delete these after I'm done because you only really have them to set the distance. So I'm going to delete these two, leaving you with your rectangle here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select it. So you see the whole thing selected. I'm going to go to Concept, Surface from Sketches, and Apply. After this, you hit Generate. And if you have this gray rectangle, you are done with this section. So go back here, and you see here, Hybrid, you got your first one done. Then you go to Mesh, so load a Mesh. Mesh. Yeah, load up Mesh. That's a better way to say it. Right. Okay, so we're gonna go here to the Z, and you see our rectangle right here. How it's perfectly done. For the first thing we're gonna do before we even start this is we're gonna go here, and we are gonna go ahead and name the sections. You can name them what you want, but I'm gonna name this upper wall. I'm gonna name this lower wall. Don't be like me and capitalize something that's not the first letter. Then you're gonna go here to the right. Make sure you get the exact edges. Name it and go to outlet. Alright, and finally we're gonna do a left one here, so just grab that corner, right click, and name it inlet. This is probably one of the most important parts, so you can separate this especially for later on. So first you're gonna do is your right click mesh to insert, and you're gonna do method. And for this you're gonna select your rectangle and apply. After this, if you go ahead and generate this, if you hit mesh, it should look just like this. Then we're gonna add more to this, so go to sizing. And what I need you to do is go back to here and go ahead and select the two sides, upper and lower. Do not select the left and right side. We will do that next. So what I'm gonna do here is change element size to number of divisions. Change that to 2,500. Change the curvature to no. And change the behavior to hard. After this, you're gonna go generate. This may take some time, though. If it's not going right away, do not stress too much about it. This is just how the progress works. For me, it might take a little longer because of the storm going on in the background. You should zoom in and you should see that if that is how it is. You did the first part of the edge sightings. Now we're going to do the other side. So go here. We're going to go ahead and do our best job here to try to get the edges. So just had no elbow. Perfect. You got above the edges here, so hit apply, hit number of divisions, do 50 because it's smaller size, Again, go no and go hard. And then you hit generate. And then you gotta let it load and we'll be back after this. Your mesh should just look like, your mesh should be good. You got double sizing, double check it. Yep, and go ahead and double check edge. Perfect, top and bottom. And finally, what we are gonna do is gonna go right click, insert, face mask. You're gonna click this and apply. And then you're gonna generate. And we'll be back when this is done. You go back and this is what it should look like. Perfect. That means we are halfway done. So you're gonna go back here and you're gonna go to update. And once this updates, you should see the second check mark. Alright, now we're gonna go to setup. And make sure you hit double precise for this one. If this takes some time, don't stress out too much about it because every single one of them, time you load this section, it should take a while. I have a little problem here, so we'll come back to you after. And once it loads, it should look like this with the double arrows. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to models here. We're gonna go to vicious. And then we're gonna make it a limiter. Then we're gonna go over here to material, fluids, air. And then we're gonna make sure we go to 2.2. Next we're gonna do 1. And we're gonna do 1.8 e to the negative 5. Change, close. And we go to results before I forget. And I'm going to double check here. One I got down on my notes. But we should go ahead and with the absolute criticals, we're going to check this out. Just go ahead and double check if this is. Double check here, make sure is the right values. And because it is, because it is not, we are going to go ahead and we are going to go and make, actually that's perfectly fine. We're going to keep that. Then we're going to go over here to this. And we're going to go to inlet, open it, and make sure it says velocity velocity int. And we're going to make this right here 0.8. Fine. Try that close. Then we're going to go to outlet. And really, we should only change one thing in this, and that is prevent reverse flow. Apply that. Cancel. Then we go to walls. The lower wall. That really should nothing be changed, but we are going to double check this just in case. And like I said, nothing to change. But then we're going to go to the upper wall here. And for the upper wall, we are going to go ahead and make this moving wall. We're going to make this 0.6. And then before we go, we're going to check and see if there's anything else we need to go ahead and change. And it looks like right now that sorry guys, I just had to go. My dad was just telling me something, but After this, we are going to go ahead and just make it stationary. Not stationary moving wall. I'm going to keep that there to the speed at 0.6. And we're going to keep this at no slip. And after that, you just got to hit apply and close, and you should be good. Good to go. And just before we forget, we're going to go ahead and actually change what we had, because I guess I was wrong. I guess I forgot to change it. So we're going to do, let's go ahead and do 0.0001. Okay. And after that, we're going to go ahead and we are going to go and check our reference values. Here you go. You gotta make sure you gotta switch this so density is 1, blah blah blah. Pressure is gonna be 0, this is 2.8. Velocity, you gotta change that to 0.8. This you gotta change the head to 0.001. Heat ratio is that, and we're gonna keep that 300. And reference zone, we are gonna change that to surface body. Alright, after this, all we should have to do is do 2 more things. So, you're gonna go to, scroll down here, go initiate, right click initiate. And you go, these values go by. And after that, you're gonna do run calculations, double click them. We're gonna make this 150. And we're gonna go ahead and calculate. After this, you're gonna let it run for a bit. It's gonna show you, it's gonna go ahead and make this little data chart here. And it's just gonna go ahead and run all 150 values. You see this loading bar there. Once it's officially done, it is going to go ahead and it's gonna go right ahead and finish it up. Like it's like completion complete. Alright, and now we only got one more thing left to do for today's project. And this is where you're going on to results here. So obviously you want to go back here, hit the Z. See, we got this thing in frame right now, which is perfect. The first thing we're actually going to do is go to location. And we're going to go to, actually, no, we're going to go to this vector, and we're going to call this velocity vectors. We're going to hit enter. And you see this. So, what demands, you're going to make the location symmetry number 1. You keep that reduce factor, you're going to keep that the same velocity, you're going to go to color. We're going to make this diverge blue. Symbol. We're going to line arrow. And we're going to head, see it's 1.8, we're going to change this to 2. Actually, we're going to change this to 0.1. And then you're going to hit apply. And boom, this is what we got right here. We got our velocity vectors, and then we got this. If you scroll, we're going to see a bunch of arrows. This is what you're going to need for part of your project. This is one of the things they asked for. And the next thing we do, we're going to do this. We're going to go velocity contour. We're going to hit collect. And then you see here, this is what we got over here. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to check location, and we're going to keep this and change it to symmetry 2. Then we're going to go ahead, change pressure to velocity. And we're going to go ahead and change this copay to what we call 1000. Then you should apply. Let it load for a bit. let this load. This might take a minute. You see on the bottom screen, the bottom right, that it's going to tell you the percentage, and that's what we need to make sure and pay attention to. Okay, and finally we are done for that part. If I lose, so we're gonna go over here to velocity vectors, insert legend. We're gonna call this velocity vectors legend. Go here, and then we're gonna hit none, and then we're gonna go to 0.1, and then we're gonna go to horizontal, play, and then also we're gonna make sure to go to the other one and hit horizontal too. Now this is where you got both, so for your thing, you're most likely gonna have to go ahead and do boom. Take this off, and this would be your main one that you're gonna have for your pictures. So you got that, and you need to scroll down. And so you can see your arrows like that perfectly. Then we're gonna turn off velocity contour. And now we're gonna do pressure contour. So go pressure contour. Go back to Symbiote 2. We're gonna do this one 1000. Apply. Let's double check that. And it should go right on ahead. took away these vectors, show you this. So this is basically what you need right there. This will show your vector pressure contours in a good way. Then you're gonna go location, line, you do mid line, you do samples 1000. You go to 0.1. You're gonna do point 0.037. Actually, we do 0.375. 0.375. And because this our distance is that, so we're gonna do 0.005. Yeah, and that should just double check this. Yeah, I just really take that, so we're gonna redo this. And there you go, there is your midline. It's kind of hard to see, but there's your midline right there. We're gonna actually go ahead and move the pressure here to let y'all see, and then we're gonna do insert. Blood. Forgot it. And line. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this right at the end. So we're gonna 0.74999. 0.7499. And we're gonna do 0.005. We're gonna go back ahead to do 1,000 samples. And we're gonna play. And if you look, you see it at the very end. And we're gonna do one more, and we're gonna call this the. I'm gonna go and call this. We're gonna call this developing line. Yeah, we're just gonna do 0.005, but we're gonna do this about. We're gonna go ahead and do about. Let's see, we're gonna do about 16. No, 0.166667. And you're gonna do this for the same 1. Play. That's about what I need. So now we're gonna go over here to chart. And now we're gonna go to, we're going to do the velocity profile. Hit OK. Then we're gonna get this. And we're gonna call this title velocity profiles again. Then you're gonna go to this. Then you're gonna go to a data series. We're gonna do end line, midline. Make sure I delete that part. And then we're gonna go to developing line. And you're gonna have all these there. You're gonna do X series. You're gonna make this velocity U. Y series, you're gonna make this Y. And after that, you should just be able to go apply. Play. Alright, so you got. We're actually gonna change the axis range. We're gonna go ahead and change this to 0. And we're gonna change the max to 0.0001. We're gonna play. And I'll be right back when we finish. What I changed is I just added locations to each one of these, and then I just went ahead and set the ranges to automatic. But this is what your graph should look like, and you should be able to go delete it sometimes, and you can see if you apply the differences. So we can go Z, click Z, and it goes back to normal. So this is what your graph should look like. And this is it for the video. You go here, you go report. And if you want more details of what your graph looks like, that's it right there.